Hi there, it's Wendy from Ask the Landlady, and I'm here with all the tips and tricks to help you make a profit in real estate rentals. And today's question from somebody, they were complaining. They were like, property taxes are killing me. Is there anything I can do about it? Well, in general, you have to pay your taxes. Even Jesus said, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, right? In other words, government's gonna ask you for money and you have to pay it. Bad things happen if you don't. Jail time, or worse, your property gets sold from the courthouse steps and you no longer own it. So you don't want either of those things to happen. So I say there's probably about 4 things in this video. I'm gonna tell you 4 things about property taxes and maybe some ideas of what you can do. One tactic is to stay on top of legislation. Stay informed about tax levies in your community. Everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon. Oh yeah, we need money for this, this, and this. Make sure everybody knows, legislators know how these property taxes will impact you as a property owner and your tenants who live there. Because a lot of times these plans sound great, but when you realize to pay for it, it's gonna be a $100 rental across the board on all my tenants. Make sure people know that when these higher tax rates go into effect, what the bottom line is. So you wanna stay abreast of anything new that's coming into the area. So number 2 then, logically, is when these things happen is you need to, if new taxes are levied, then you gotta make sure your rents reflect that change and that they go up, right? If you're paying more out in taxes, your tenant needs to go with that and help you pay that bill, because you're not gonna make any money. You're just gonna go backwards if you don't keep on top of inflation and issues like that. And I talk about that more in my book, Lessons from the Landlady, about how you need to do regular increases of your rent. You don't do anybody any favor by keeping it the same. That means you won't have the money to put in new carpeting. You won't have the money to put that new roof on if you don't stay increasing as your costs go up. So that's the second thing to know, is if they do go up, you need to build that into the rentals prices that you're going to be charging. So that being said, number 3 is that there are times you can contest your property tax valuation with your county. First, you want to look up what your property is being appraised at, and you can find that information at your county auditor's website. If that price is higher than what you paid for the property, you already immediately have a reason to ask for lower taxes, right? Or maybe, a structure, if you have a fire or you have some significant issue that has devalued your property, then you have several reasons why you might go to the auditor and make a case to get that tax price down. So recently, I purchased a building for $130,000. It was listed on the auditor's site as worth $203,000. That's $73,000 difference, right? So I have a good claim to make on that property. Simply went to the auditor's website and printed what in Ohio it was called a complaint against the valuation of real property. Sent that in along with copies of my settlement statement, my purchase agreement, all those types of things that would prove that what I paid was significantly less than what they have it valued for. And again, if you have any kind of casualty loss, a flood, hurricane, fire, other property damage, you can certainly go to the auditor and ask that be looked at again, because you've had a significant loss. Maybe even a lead paint claim or something that has kept that property from being rented for a while you mediated that. If anything, if you can make a claim that there was a substantial economic impact on the property, where an occupancy change of at least 15%, that's another reason you can go in and have your taxes reduced. And again, you just want to gather all the information you can, your rent rolls, what happened, maybe a local factory closed, or the community had some other economic downturn, all those types of issues that you can use. Because what's going to happen then is your auditor is going to get all your information and invite you in for a nice little meeting, and you'll get to talk about it and show them your documentation and your proof. And number 4 thing you want to look at when it comes to these property taxes is that probably, I assume where you're at too, they're assessed every so often. Like for us in Ohio, it's every 6 years. And that's when it happens, you're going to want to make sure you look at those very carefully. We just recently got a flood of them in, and some of them went up significantly because, you know what my county did? Sneaky little people. They got a drone and went over and adjusted all the square footages. So where they had been for so many years at a certain square footage, they suddenly said, well, these are the real square footages. So some of them jumped up really high, and some of them were multifamily. Again, I just simply went and had a meeting with them, talked to them, and we came to, they were able to see that that was going to be a huge economic hardship to, double taxes when there's all those tenants that are living there. 45 tenants would be impacted by the rental prices that would go up. So we were able to have a good communication and talk about those issues through the assessment process. Taxes obviously were going to go up, but I kept them from going up as much as they should have, because I went in and I advocated on behalf of myself as a property owner and my tenants. We're going to have to pay significantly more because of that property assessment. So that's your number 4 thing you can do, is you can go in and talk to people and simply present your case with some information. So again, nobody wants to pay taxes. It stinks. I hate them. But it's a necessary evil, and there are those 4 things that you can do to try to mediate them or help improve things in the future. So thanks. We're all in this together. Hit subscribe, shoot me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great day.